Hello and welcome to another edition of National Focus. I'm your presenter, Mervyn Matthew. Thank you for joining us. Top in the headlines, an act passed in Parliament increases gratuity payments made to retiring legislators and parliamentarians. A Dominican-based organization in New York raised funds to rebuild the Portsmouth Catholic Church, and we will bring you highlights of the 17th edition of Dominica's World Creole Music Festival, which was held last weekend. Stay with us for details of these stories and others right after the break.
There is a silent, invisible killer in our midst, a killer which largely goes unnoticed as it plies its deadly trade. Its name is secondhand tobacco smoke, which has a far greater impact on persons inhaling this poison than on smokers themselves. Secondhand tobacco smoke is especially detrimental in public places and negatively impacts our national health as well as public health expenditure. Stop this invisible killer now. Say no to secondhand tobacco smoke in public places. A public health message brought to you by the Ministry of Health and the Pan American Health Organization.
Welcome back. Time now for the details of the news. An act to amend the Members of Parliament retiring allowances was passed in the House of Parliament on Monday. The act was amended in Section 7, Part 1, 2, 4 and 5 by deleting the words 1/10 and substituting the words 2/10 in each of the sections. Prime Minister and the Minister for Finance, Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, informed the Parliament that this enactment will increase the amount of gratuity paid to legislators and parliamentarians.
Section 7.1 states that, and I quote, a gratuity equal to 1/10 of the total salary earned during this period of service in any parliamentary term shall be paid to a legislator, and the gratuity shall be paid within 1 month of the expiration of a full parliamentary term of office. End of quote. With the proposed amendment, the gratuity will be the 2/10 of the total salary earned during his period of service in any parliamentary term. Section 7.2 states that, and I quote, where a person ceases to be a legislator but does not qualify for a retiring allowance under Section 5, he shall be entitled to be paid a gratuity equal to 1/10 of his total salary, or total salary earned during his period of service as a legislator. End of quote. With the proposed amendment, the gratuity will be 2/10 of his total salary earned during his period of service as a legislator.
Prime Minister Skerrit went on to explain the amendments made to Section 7, 4 and 5 of the Retiring Allowance Legislative Service Act.
Section 7.4 states that, and I quote, where a person who is serving as a legislator dies, his personal representatives shall be entitled to receive as part of his estate a gratuity of an amount equal to 1/10 of his salary or his total salary earned during his period of service as a legislator, or an amount equal to 1 year's salary as a legislator, whichever is the greater. End quote. With the proposed amendment, the gratuity will be 2/10 of his total salary earned during his period of service as a legislator, or an amount equal to 1 year's salary as a legislator, whichever is the greater. Section 7.5 states that, and I quote, where a person is not a legislator on 16th December 1971, but was a legislator during the period commencing 1st January 1961 to or after 1st March 1967, then provided that he is not in the meantime in receipt of a pension in respect of his service as a member of the Legislative Council under the Dominica Constitution Order in Council 1959, or a member of the House of Assembly, he shall be entitled to receive a gratuity equal to 1/10 of his total salary earned during his period of service. End quote. In this case, Madam Speaker, the gratuity to be paid will also be 2/10.
Prime Minister Skerrit is hoping that this new amendment will encourage quality representation by legislators and parliamentarians in the House of Assembly.
I trust that this amendment will help to improve the quality of life of past legislators and encourage existing and future legislators and parliamentarians to to give quality representation to the people of Dominica and superior service to this House of Assembly. I will also state, Madam Speaker, that this is also bringing the Parliament or the House of Assembly's gratuity on part that received by other people on contract within the public service. At all levels, everybody receives 20% of salary earned during the contractual period.
A parliamentary representative for the Marigot constituency, Honorable Edison James, welcomed the amendment to the Act and told the House that he is looking forward to retiring from parliamentary duties. He urged the parliamentarians to take their responsibilities in the House seriously.
We all have a great responsibility to do the work of this country in a diligent and honest way. When people talk about retiring in this context, now I'm sure they will be thinking that the person speaking now is on his way to retirement, and I look forward to that.
Meanwhile, at Monday's sitting of Parliament, where Prime Minister Skerritt concluded the debates on the $78 million supplementary appropriations, he defended the Melville Road project that was undertaken. He said that the rehabilitation project in that area has benefited the entire country.
They come here and criticize the Melville Road. As a matter of fact, Madam Speaker, the member for the Road Central said that is a waste of money. It's a waste of money. And you can see the tremendous benefit of that project to the whole of Dominica. An ambitious project, Madam Speaker, that only this government could have undertaken. For over 25 years, over 30 years, Madam Speaker, that road has been in a deplorable condition. And because governments in the past did not have the capacity to undertake it, Madam Speaker, we had to implement that project.
The Prime Minister, during his speech, disclosed that an additional amount of funds will be made available towards proper sanitation in houses around the country. Many homes across the island don't have adequate washroom facilities. The Prime Minister stated that the Dominica Labour Party government will see to it that this matter is addressed.
We shall continue apace with our housing revolution and focusing largely on sanitation conditions in all communities, Madam Speaker. Because if you look at the extent to which we support people, in every community in Dominica we've impacted every community has been impacted in respect to the housing revolution, Madam Speaker.
Since coming into office, he says the Dominica State College has made marked improvements.
Under this Labour Party government, Madam Speaker, in respect to the State College, we came in office in 2000. Only 7% of all high school graduates had access to the college. Today it is 87%. 87%. When we came into office, Madam Speaker, in 2000, 44% of all primary school students, graduates, had access to high school. Today it is 100%. And I'm saying that in the next 5 years, we shall achieve universal access to Dominica State College.
According to the Prime Minister, once financial resources become available, the needs of the people will be addressed.
The intention of the government is once we have the money, we will seek to address the challenges confronting families and communities around Dominica, Madam Speaker. So that's our mission, Madam Speaker, in bettering the lives of people of Dominica.
At that sitting, the Prime Minister also announced the signing of agreements between the government of Dominica and the NDFD towards the investment of small businesses in Dominica.
Next week or so, we'll be signing an agreement with the NDFD, Madam Speaker. We'll be signing an agreement of a loan of $5 billion with the NDFD to lend to small businesses in Dominica at the lower interest rates. They'll receive a first check in the month of November of $2 million towards investing in small businesses, cottage industries, agriculture, tourism, and other services, all with a view to creating jobs.
Meantime, Minister for Information, Honorable Ambrose Judge, believes that Prime Minister Skerritt, the Minister for Finance, should be commended on his management of resources.
We are showing the members of the opposition that this government is serious about the financial management of the country. And we are able to rely on local resources, Madam Speaker, to undertake the programs of the government. And that in itself augurs very well for the government and the country.
In support of the supplementary appropriations, Honorable Judge expounded on the State House project.
With the advent of this new State House, with the advent of the ancillary buildings, that is to say, the Electoral Office, the IPO Office, the offices to house the Public Service Commission, the Police Service Commission, Madam Speaker, we are now in a position, a very, very good position, to not only offer the President of the State of Dominica, whoever that may be, Madam Speaker, a facility, a residential home, and offices that the President can operate in a manner which is equal to any other country in the Caribbean, Madam Speaker. And this augurs well for us. And as a Dominican, Madam Speaker, I am very proud, very, very proud, Madam Speaker, that this government, my party, the Dominica Labour Party, Madam Speaker, took that decision to renovate and to build a new State House for the President of Dominica, Madam Speaker.
He also referenced the public support program.
The idea of the public support program, Madam Speaker, was a novel one, Madam Speaker. It was one that was visionary, Madam Speaker, in the sense that since the inception of that program, Madam Speaker, I personally have witnessed several Dominicans, Madam Speaker, who otherwise could not afford, Madam Speaker, whether it is for medical services, educational services, for domestic services, or concerns, or whatever, Madam Speaker, I have seen several Dominicans, needy Dominicans, Madam Speaker, come forward, made a request in writing, Madam Speaker, because nobody comes to the Prime Minister's office, Madam Speaker, and makes a request verbally and walks out there with any support from the program, Madam Speaker. It has to be written in the terms of a request, Madam Speaker, and I can assure you, and we have heard it from the Minister of Finance, that every cent that is spent under the public support program can be accounted for, Madam Speaker. Every cent, Madam Speaker. And every cent of it, every black cent, if you want to call it so, can be accounted for, Madam Speaker. And it's not only members of the Dominica Labour Party who are benefiting. All Dominicans, blue, red, yellow, whatever color they have, Madam Speaker, they come there and they receive support from the program, Madam Speaker. Yet, the opposition continues to criticize it, and it's a red clinic. And I think the name is very appropriate, Madam Speaker, because it is serving the people of Dominica in a very useful manner, Madam Speaker.
The minister stated that every cent that has been spent on the government support program can be accounted for. This year's Independence theme, One Mission, One Dominica, celebrating 35, is being taken very seriously and practically by government, especially in the Ministry of Trade. Dominica's Minister for Trade, Industry and Consumer Affairs, Honorable Dr. John Colin McIntyre, was one of two speakers at Roseau's Market Day for Difference last Saturday. He used the independence theme as the basis of his address, stating that government's national export strategy is one which illustrates the theme of One Mission, One Dominica.
One Mission is also expressed in the national export strategy and in our attempts to improve the standard of living of all Dominicans. Your government is committed to improving Dominica's export performance by focusing on the production of high-value food, goods, and services. We are on course to see major interventions in our key export sector in 2014. We'll see the operationalization of the multipurpose park houses during the first quarter of 2014, which will serve to stimulate agricultural production in selected export crops and to provide opportunities for the increased revenue to the farming population.
In that regard, the Honorable Minister advised the farmers and vendors to remain vigilant about the quality of their produce. This is an important step in preparation for the mass exportation of local produce anticipated by government with the procurement of a shipping vessel for that purpose. In that address, the Trade Minister hinted at a new plan to support local vendors and farmers.
The government of Dominica, through Dexia, will be planning an initiative to assist our farmers over the next couple of months. We are now working at the Ministry of Trade to finalize this package in providing assistance to our farmers, and our many programs already initiated under the Ministry of Agriculture, the Ministry of Trade, and now through the Ministry of Trade back again to Dexia to provide the necessary support to our vendors and users of this Rosa market to support you. We understand that things globally have changed, and this government, the Dominica Labour Party, is committed to providing the means to support our vendors and farmers and users of this Rosa market. So in the next couple of weeks, there will be an announcement made where the government will be announcing its intentions and plans, which are well on the way to assist you throughout the Rosa market in terms of giving some support to you, in terms of beautifying your trees and providing necessary support so you can keep that trade buoyant.
A Dominican-based organization in the state of New York has so far raised over $40,000 to assist in the rebuilding of the Portsmouth Catholic Church. The 150-year-old church was destroyed by an earthquake back in 2004. The New York Portsmouth Roman Catholic Church Rebuilding Initiative, which is made up of nationals from Portsmouth residing in New York, has held several fundraising events since its establishment. Adelaide Paul, an active member of the organization, is back in Dominica to partake in the 2013 independence celebrations. In an interview with GIS News on Tuesday, Paul said a summer barbecue and annual Creole Day dinner were two recent activities held to raise funds.
To date, we've actually contributed, I would say, over $40,000 US to the church rebuilding efforts, and pretty much all of it has been done through all our fundraising efforts.
Notwithstanding the financial contributions from organizations such as this one in New York, restorative work on the Portsmouth Catholic Church has had to come to a halt due to lack of funds. Paul tells GIS News that it's important that the Portsmouth Catholic Church is restored, as it represents an important landmark in that community.
There is a greater need right now to get more funds in to continue the project. They've done a lot of work. They've done a tremendous amount of work thus far. The foundation is up, the roof is up, well, the walls, they started going up, and that's where it has stopped now. It's a beautiful structure. It's something that I think is going to be great for the town of Portsmouth, because growing up as a child, I just recall the Catholic Church, that bell being rung every 12 o'clock and every 6 o'clock. It wasn't just a church. It wasn't just a place of worship. It was also a place for refuge and shelter. I remember Hurricane David, Hurricane Arlene. I was, much younger. I was 7, 8 years old, and we went over there for shelter. People lived in the church for months after the hurricane, because their houses were demolished and they had nowhere to go, and the church welcomed them. People cooked in the church. People lived, they slept in the church, and the St. John's School, which is right next to the church. So, when the church went down, it's really, we can really say a part of Portsmouth pretty much died with it. So we're trying to get the new church rebuilt to be sort of like a landmark and a real something that is established within the town for the entire community, and not just for who's there now, but for future generations.
The Portsmouth Parish has so far raised just over $1.3 million to rebuild the Catholic Church. However, we understand that a total of $2.5 million is required for the successful completion of the project. Chanel Edmonds, known for her daytime role as Destiny on One Life to Live, is the new Miss WABDUET 2013 USA. A total of 6 contestants participated in the Dominica Emerald Organization of New Jersey's 11th annual staging. They were Shema Judge, who represented Salisbury, Samira Mary Joseph of Roseau, Tamika Tyson from Pettit Savan, Tiffany Sargent, who represented Wesley, and Madissa John of St. Joseph. Edmonds proved herself worthy of the Miss WABDUET title when she successfully answered the question of why she thought she deserved to be the winner.
For the question round, we all got one of the same questions, which was why we believed we should have gotten the title. And I said I believe I was the best candidate for it because I love advocating for Dominica, and with my outgoing personality, I am able to talk to younger kids and like those who come after us and tell them like no matter what, your future is yours and just take it as much as you can, take it for all it is. And another question I had to answer was what the African slaves contributed to the WAB, which was the different color combinations and all the gold that they wear on their arms, neck, and ears, which we call glegle. So that was my two questions, and it was just so much fun. Honestly, I wish I could do it again just so I could say, yay.
She told us what her talent was about and described the feeling of being in a WAB duet.
The basis of my talent was lessons from the past, and my character was an American-born child whose mother was Dominican and came from Dominica and wanted to give her child better, but her child just wanted to be an American all the way. And she was running after the American dream, and it landed her in jail. So by the time she got out of jail with her GED, her mom had passed of like grievances and whatnot. So that was basically my talent. The WAB round was so much fun. Just the anticipation built up so much that it was such an adrenaline rush when I got on stage. I was just having so much fun. I forgot it was a competition.
She says she loves everything Dominica and that it was an honor to represent her country.
I love Dominica more than anybody could ever imagine. So anything that has to do with Dominica, I have to be there. I have to do it.
Chanel is presently in Dominica following her win to grace us with her presence at the Cultural Gala on Monday, November 4. The much anticipated free nights of pulsating rhythms was just that this past weekend from night 1 last Friday until night 3 on Sunday. Intermittent showers did nothing to deter the thousands that turned out to move to the rhythms of such headline acts like Kassav, Marshall Montano and Busy Signal. The lineup featured performances from New Look as well as Karimi and Tito Puente Jr. Local performances in the lineup included Fitzroy Williams, Elisha Benoit, Halibut, Swinging Stars, Triple K, Asa Banton, and a host of Calypsonians. An especially memorable moment was Calypso pioneer Fitzroy Williams receiving an award from the Ministry of Tourism for his 40 years of service to the local industry. GIS will bring you the organizers' analysis of the 17th World Creole Music Festival as soon as it becomes available. And that's the English segment of the news. Macpherson St. Louis is next with the Creole highlights.
Allô tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle créole. Non, moi, c'est Macpherson St. Louis. Premièrement, le gouvernement Dominique bien plaisir qu'il était ça dans opposition pour assister la compagnie d'Apex. Si le ministre de Commodity, Honorable Dr. John Colin McIntyre, ça même qui a augmenté l'agriculture en Dominique.
tout le monde Dominique, et jeune monde Dominique, pour venir ensemble. Parce que nous parlons de nous avons un projet comme des abattoirs, coffee, et les autres projets à Dominique, nous parlons de BAM, et ça nous avons fait puis census pour taper qui femme qui a fait agriculture, qui nomme qui a fait agriculture, tout le monde qui qualité. En plan uni on bail quoi que satellite là on ka garder à ou là ka descendre c'est plat et ça ouais au station d'achine et ça nous aller tout le monde Dominique à ou là pour garder ça nous là avec bam de yo de ka parler am semaine ça qui passé mo quoi mouchi angos makinda ka travailler puis bam yo de ka parler quoi ça nous ça yo ka fait à match qui ka venir avec toutes ces bails ça nous ne pour savent ça c'est quel bail ça parce que ça yo ka qui bail ka forecast some de ou savent on est 10 livres qualité bail avec nous ça acheter taper en 10 livres qualité bail so mon bien compte aujourd'hui avec mon cas pour tout le monde Dominique toute plateau Dominique tout le monde il y a des monde qui toujours parler code gouvernement pas faire ça gouvernement pas faire ça mais ça c'est premier gouvernement qui a mettre l'argent même ça c'est l'argent hot Dominique pas l'argent hot c'est project tout ces cas bail ça l'autre qui passé nous te capable avec l'argent hot projects. Mais actuellement, c'est ça fini. Actuellement, on paye pour taper l'argent même pour mettre l'agriculture. Avec ça, le gouvernement ça a fait. Ça, c'est Dominique qui n'est pas parti. Nous avons l'argent nous, avec l'argent qui fait Dominique. Avec nous avons l'argent ça pour aider planter Dominique, pour nous lever l'agriculture. Et c'est plus le gouvernement tout seul qui a fait ça.
En autre nouvelle, travail qui prend place à ce chemin et puis l'école secondaire Cassebros. Parole celle-là sortie au Parlement, Honorable Johnson Drago.
Gouvernement juste fait nous plus de $300,000 pour manger chez mes jalousies. L'argent, $300,000, pas assez pour manger chez mes. Mais ça, nous avons fait, quand ce projet-là, $300,000 fini, le gouvernement qui fait tout l'argent nous encore available pour nous continuer chez mes. Nous avons mangé chez mes, sorti depuis Wakama pour arriver à l'église catholique, point Wakama pour arriver à l'église catholique. C'est ça qui était un problème qu'on a parlé après 15 personnes. J'ai travaillé à l'échelle ça. En même temps, en Cassebros, nous avons fait un gros job à l'école secondaire Cassebros. Le gouvernement qu'on a parlé a dépensé plus de $300,000 en l'école Cassebros. Et vraiment, fait ça, là qui n'a plus de 15 jeunes hommes qui travaillent qu'on a parlé. Tout l'après-midi pour aller en souhait, nous avons peinturé l'école là, nous avons mangé fencing l'école là, nous avons mangé ces grilles là, terre, les chimères. Nous, jeune homme, tapé un job electrical wiring pour manger electrical à l'école là. Sur l'école ça, on l'autre travail.
Chairman Discover Dominic Authority Benoit Badwell, bien plaisir qui avion FIFA t'a posé Melville Hall sans pièce problème, sans même qu'à montrer capacité faciliter cela. Badwell fait parole ça pendant un grand interview et puis service information gouvernement.
On jette, il y a créé un MDA free, un Water Jet là, il y a 155 sites pour ça passagers. Il pas tenir tous ces passagers à bord, mais ça on connaît un FIFA, mener un trophée mondial pour football. Dominique avec ça, quand on trouve comme Melvin Hall, ce n'est pas petit avion seulement qui ça vient Melvin Hall. C'est un gros avion, il vient Melvin Hall, pas de pièce problème avec il quitter Melvin Hall. So ça, quand on trouve nous comme gouvernement dépensé 15 millions de dollars. En Melvin Hall avec ça comme nous si avion gros avion ça vient sans pièce problème Dominique comme que nous ça continuer parler pour si nous ça taper direct en connexion et l'Amérique Dominique avec un gros avion qui ça porter plus que 100 monde.
Et puis finalement, le ministre de l'Agriculture qui conduit un census qui a servi comme guide pour gouverner le secteur agricole. Parole celle-là sorti au directeur agriculture, M. Ricky Bromand.
Un premier meeting pour census là. L'année prochaine qui vient, nous allons courir un census pour agriculture. Ça nous a fait, c'est mener tout le monde qui sa nous idée, qui sa parler contre census là, qui travaille en agriculture. Nous allons parler contre habitants, nous allons parler contre compagnie comme Dexia, agence comme Dexia, nous avons parlé comme ministère agriculture même. So, pour là nous finissons nous ça ni un bon produit, un bon sensor. Nous avons tout ça pour bon information là nous besoin pour faire synthèse, nous ça plan plus meilleur pour secteur là à Dominique.
Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nous en créole pour à présent. Non, moi c'est Mac Louis. Au revoir.
Coming up next, your tip of the day.
Together we build, together we strive. We see it all on your Government Information Service, Channel 7. This is the Government Information Service, bringing you all that you need to know about all that's happening in your country's development. GIS, you and your channel.
Today we'll bring you a few driving safety tips. Avoid putting on makeup, shaving, or any other type of grooming in the car. Do these things before you leave the house. Do not text while driving. Wait until you get to your destination to send a text or have the passenger send a text for you. There is no excuse for a distracted driver. The things that are making a driver distracted can always be done when you reach your destination. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website at news.gov.dm. On behalf of the entire news production team, I'm Melvin Matthew. Thank you for watching.